The old folks called it Whispering Woods for a reason. They said the trees talked, not to everyone, mind you, just to those brave or foolish enough to venture within. The woods stood at the edge of Oakhaven, a veil of emerald green hiding secrets untold. Lost children, they whispered, forgotten dreams. 10-year-old Leo shivered. He loved a good scare, but something about the woods felt different, colder. His friends, Maya and Kate, were already halfway up the forest path, their laughter echoing back. Leo hesitated, then followed. Maya, fearless and bold, skipped ahead. She craved adventure, and the woods promised just that. Leo trailed behind, captivated by Maya's confidence. Kate, ever the pragmatist, held her recorder aloft. "If the trees whisper," she declared, "I'll be the one to capture it." Leo rolled his eyes. Kate and her gadgets. Still, a thrill shot through him. What if she actually recorded something? The sunlight faded as they journeyed deeper, the air growing heavy with the scent of pine and damp earth. Kate had always been fascinated by the supernatural. Ghosts, ghouls, and things that went bump in the night. She devoured every book and documentary she could find. Whispering Woods was her chance to prove the impossible. She'd packed extra batteries for her recorder, determined to document every rustle and sigh. "Guys, listen," she whispered, holding up a finger. A faint murmuring seemed to drift through the trees. Leo scoffed. "It's just the wind, Kate." But Kate wasn't convinced. The sound seemed almost intentional. Deeper they ventured, the light dwindling to an eerie twilight. The woods were alive with sound now, a symphony of rustling leaves and snapping twigs, and the whispers, they grew stronger, weaving through the trees like threads of smoke. "Leo," a voice seemed to sigh close to his ear. He spun around, heart pounding. "Who's there?" Only the deepening shadows answered him. Maya, her usual bravado faltering, clutched his arm. "This is starting to creep me out." Even Kate felt a shiver crawl down her spine. The whispers were constant now, surrounding them, seeming to call their names. The woods themselves seemed to press in, the air thick and heavy. The path, once clear, was disappearing under a carpet of fallen leaves and creeping vines. Leo stumbled, his foot catching on a gnarled root. He reached out, his hand brushing against something cold and smooth. He recoiled, his blood turning to ice. It felt almost like skin. Panic flared, hot and bright. "We need to go!" Leo choked out, scrambling back to his feet, but the path, their only way out, had vanished completely. They were lost. Kate, her face pale, fumbled with her recorder. I think I caught something." Her voice trembled as she hit playback. A chorus of whispers filled the air, their names echoing in distorted harmony. And then, clear and cold, a different voice cut through the noise. "Turn back!" The voice sent a jolt of terror through them. It wasn't the whispering voices from before. This was different, deeper, angrier. "This isn't funny!" Maya shouted, her voice high with panic. "Who's out there?" Silence met her words. The whispers had vanished, leaving an unnerving emptiness in their wake. Then a twig snapped, close. Leo whirled around, his eyes scanning the shadows. Something moved in the undergrowth, a flicker of darkness against the dying light. Before any of them could react, a figure emerged from the trees. Tall and shrouded in shadow, it moved with an unnatural grace. Leo's breath caught in his throat. It was like something out of a nightmare, all sharp edges and swirling darkness. He waited for it to speak, to lunge, to unleash its fury upon them. But the figure simply stood there, its form wavering in the fading light, and then slowly it reached out a hand. A cold wind swept through the woods, tearing at their clothes and whipping their hair across their faces. Leo squeezed his eyes shut, bracing himself for the worst. When he opened them, the figure was gone, vanished without a trace. They stood there for a moment, hearts pounding in unison, the silence deafening after the terror. Then, as one, they turned and ran. They didn't stop until they burst out of the woods, gasping for breath under the wide-open sky. Whispering Woods had kept its secrets, but the encounter left an indelible mark. They knew, with a certainty that chilled them to the bone, that they were not alone. The woods were silent now, but somewhere deep within their shadowy embrace something watched and waited.